most interesting part will start. I want to really quickly introduce our guests, of course, and also who is behind today's session. Once again, this is Business Administration subject webinar. Here are our guests. We are always very thankful for your time and for joining the webinar and providing all the information. I will introduce all of them separately. Before that, I want to mention organizer of today's session, which is Magdeburg University. I'm sure you are already aware of the study finder, but just as a reminder, that Germany's largest study program database. Usually, or earlier we were saying, if you want to study in English in Germany, you can use the study finder. So now it's changed. Now, even if you want to study mixed program with different languages, or maybe a fully German program as well that somebody wants to study, you can recommend Magdeburg University because we are listing all available options here. Feel free to check out our articles, especially interesting for internationals are topics like scholarship, visa, accommodation, and other things related to Germany and arriving to Germany. So those articles are very comprehensive, very important. They are written by internationals so that we are addressing the points that we also went through, including myself. So we think those articles are quite valuable, and also they are translated into different languages. By the way, in case you have a need for an article that you cannot find on our site, on our page, feel free to share your ideas with us, because the latest option was about Hochschule, and now we have created a number of articles about it. So we are taking into account your desires as well. Feel free to check out our webinars. So you have already seen our subject webinar today's. In case you have general questions about Uni-Assist visa, scholarship, and studying in Germany, maybe Chancencard or blocked account, feel free to join our general webinars where somebody from Magdeburg University team will be helping you to answer your questions, broader questions. In case you have them today as well, feel free to post them in Q&A, then I will take them in written. And of course, our team, we are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages, and we are, of course, very happy to share our experience of studying and living in Germany with you. Now, I have already mentioned that we have the study finder, and I suppose you have already tried it out. But in case you don't know yet, why the study finder is informative, because, for example, for business administration degrees, there are 700 plus options. Of course, you will narrow down according to bachelor and master, but then there are still quite numbers, and I doubt you are going to check one by one. Therefore, you can adjust filters. This could be language filters, this could be tuition fee filters, application mode filters. And what is interesting is, or useful, is that you can always combine those filters and then sort programs according to maybe application deadline or location or something else. And of course, you can always favor the programs. And once the program is scheduled for a webinar, you will be notified, and you can you will not miss this live interaction with your future study program. Feel free to check out also our subject pages that provide general description of a subject, also tuition fees, application, admission requirements. With these last points, please be careful, because all programs are really different. They have different, especially language and application requirements. So you need to check all programs carefully and submit the document according to requested levels and maybe GPA requirements and so on. So this is really important. And this slide refers to this point, that all programs are really different, and to make an informed decision, we always advise you to check for the university profile and study program profile itself. So maybe check the curriculum or read carefully the structure of the program so that you are studying what is your dream program in future. Really briefly about the universities in Germany. In Germany, you will meet universities and University of Applied Sciences. What were the historic differences, or like how those were established, in case you're interested in this. We have a whole article about that, but what I want to mention today is only a really minor thing, that usually programs offered by universities tend to be more research and theory oriented. Universities of Applied Sciences usually have application practice oriented programs, but Of course, there could be exceptions on both sides, and as already mentioned, each program is different, so feel free to check the program profiles carefully. And even today we have professors here in case you have questions about these 2 points, feel free to ask them. They are more competent than me to take these questions. What I also want to mention is that please differentiate between qualification requirements and application documents. Qualification requirements define if you can apply to a program or not. If you do not meet qualification requirements, then you should think twice if you need to apply to that program. And once you make sure that you meet the qualification requirements, then you will have a list of application documents and you can start collecting those. All right, with this, then the boring part or technical part is done now, because I would like to give the mic to Professor Dr. Achim Michalke, who will be presenting Master Sustainability Risk Management Program, Master of Science degree program. This is Ostfalia University of Applied Sciences. For location and some facts about the program. Very quick look on slide, because Professor has much more interesting and important things to share. I just
a warm welcome from me as well. My name is Achim Michalke, and I'm a professor for technical management at Ostfalia University of Applied Sciences. And we are located in Wolfenbüttel, that is close to Braunschweig in northern Germany. And what I want to present you today is our holistic master study program in sustainability and risk management, an online part-time program for everyone who is interested in that area, not only for business people. Now I have to look where my screen can be changed. Well, the master is going about sustainability and risk, and for the first look, that might be very different kinds of themes, but if you have a closer look, then you see they are faces of the same medal, and the common underlying aspect is the uncertainty of the future. And well, we know that we have a lot of really challenging issues in our future, and this small cartoon shall visualize them a little bit. And the underlying question is, are we prepared to address the real issues that are coming up there in sustainability and the adjoining risk, what is coming up with our sustainability issues like climate change, like biodiversity, and like other things like resource shortages and so on. And this is the focus that we have taken for our master approach. And what we want to offer you is our master course in sustainability and risk management that is finalizing with a Master of Science. And we are convinced that this course will get you better prepared for the issues I have just mentioned and that we are facing worldwide. This is a course that takes an interdisciplinary view on sustainability and risk issues, because all these problems will not be solvable when you are just looking at your faculty, when you are just looking at your discipline. Whatever that might be, whether it is economics, politics, social issues, legal issues, technological issues, and philosophical issues, they are all intertwined in these themes, and you need a holistic view on that to come to sustainable ideas about solutions. And that is what we are trying to combine in our course, and that is also what our lecturers are combining in their vitae. For example, we have a legal consultant there, we have a technician, an engineer, and me, myself, I'm, for example, a physicist. So we are quite across the line, and that is exactly what we are what we are intending to offer to you as well. As Nino already mentioned, our University of Applied Sciences is solution-oriented. So we are looking at a practitioner's approach. We are not doing a lot of theory. Yes, of course, theory is necessary, and we will teach you some theory, but the focus of the whole course will be on applications, on practitioners' solutions, and we are doing a lot of real-world examples from experts, and we are doing a lot of application workshops with you as students to see how problems can be approached and hopefully finally also solved. We are doing an intercultural senior level approach, senior level didactics. So we are not doing classical lectures, or rather rarely doing these classical lectures, because we think you are already grown up and have had enough lectures in your life. So we are going to focus on discussions and workshops, and we are not transferring our knowledge to you, rather than we are interacting between you and your colleagues and ourselves, exchanging our joint knowledge and rebuilding it together to, yes, viable solution at the end, hopefully. We are doing that in a state-of-the-art distant learning environment. Of course, we have a learning platform that will be Moodle. We are doing multimedia courses. You find scripts as well as webinars, as well as live web conferences. We are doing all that on the web, and if you want to drive it to extremes, no local presence will be required. So we are not looking for students who are eager to come up to us and spend a few years with us. We are looking for international students wherever they are, who are interested to join us virtually to build this course, to make this course a success. There will be some application workshops where you can come on site, of course, but the majority of the program will be offline, will be online, and will be on virtual tools. The whole course is built in a part-time structure for a parallel the job studying. So we have 4 terms. Each term has 15 European credits. When you know that that scale, that's 1 credit is around about 30 working hours for the students. So 15 credits is well about half time size for a term. And there are 4 terms plus a 5th term where the master's thesis then is written. Of course, the master's thesis is the most intense part of the course anyway. All lectures are scheduled in the evenings, at least when you are sitting in Europe, so that you are able to attend them and able to participate in them after your work. We have small student groups, typically less than 10 in a group. We have live professors, that's no conserves, but we are live on our webinars. We are discussing with you directly, and the whole program has a fair price. The total costs are 15,000 euros. They are payable in 4 rates of 3,750 euros per term. The terms 1 to 4 are priced, and the terms 5 to 8 then are free of charge when you have attended the former ones. So you have simply enough time to finish your studies, even when you are a little bit less when your speed is a little bit lesser because you are working or you have family or so on, up to 8 terms are all the same price. Here I have brought you a little scheme how this course is built up. You see there's one foundational course, that is the blue one. This is the only one that is finishing with a written exam. Every other one is finishing with a presentation, an oral presentation and some written documentation. There are 4 modules that are concerning several aspects of risk. There are 4 modules that are concerning several aspects of sustainability. And of course, there are a lot of links between all these various modules. And there are 3 further modules that are workshops where we do a short but very intense application in teams. So you team up with your colleagues and solve a real problem. Of course, attended with us and being supported from us. And then there is the 5th term, you see the master thesis that is covering the last term, where you then work yourself up to a specific problem. Here are some examples how these application workshops, so these are the orange modules on the right side, may look like. These are real examples from student groups we have already seen in our courses. I don't read the titles to you, but you have a small look on the breadth of our themes. You see there is some legal aspects in it. There are also environmental, agricultural themes, sea level themes, global warming themes. Whatever is in sustainability and whatever covers risk may here show up as a theme that you might select for your application workshops. What do you need if you would like to apply for the course? You need, of course, a bachelor's degree or a diploma degree. And there is no matter what subject you have studied before, whether it be economics or legal or politics or even engineering. We accept you all because this is a true interdisciplinary course. Your bachelor or diploma should have at least 210 European credits. And based on this degree, you should have at least 1 year of professional experience in the area of your expertise. Well, some of our applicants have not the 210 credits. Many smaller bachelors are stopping at 118 credits. That's no problem. You can obtain the missing credits by various means, and they are so various that we would require that we would recommend you to contact us to clear up in that situation how you could work up to the 210 credits. You could start each summer term. There's the application until January 15th, or each winter term application until June 15. And you see, you can always join this course twice a year. If you look for further information, here is a web address where you find the full documentation. I wouldn't like to read to you, but just show you whenever you like, you can have a look there. And if you're interested, we would be very happy if you contact us via this email address, and we'll help you happily with all the further steps that might be necessary, or helping you to find the right decision for yourself, whether this course will be a good choice for you or rather a different one. Well, this is what I wanted to present to you. If you have questions, I'd be glad to help you. Thank you very much.
To give the mic to Professor Dr. Guido Müllering, who will be talking about management master program strategy organization.
I've been at this university for 9 years now, and for pretty much the same time, or around about 8 years, I've been responsible as the program coordinator of the management master. And so, yeah, so it's a master program. Obviously, you might be interested in this if you're currently doing a bachelor in management, economics, or business administration related fields. Okay, so our university is called Witten Herdecke. These are two towns, two cities in Germany, neighboring cities. And I'm struggling to, yeah, so let's see where this city is. Witten is here in the west of Germany on the German map that you can see. So we are actually not far from the Netherlands or Belgium, even France, maybe Luxembourg. This corner of Germany, that's where Witten is, a city of about 100,000 people, but next to other mid-sized cities like Dortmund, Bochum, Essen that have about 400,000. Yeah, it's a charming student city, very affordable in terms of living expenses, especially if you share a flat or a house with other students, and lots to do culturally and leisure-wise in the town itself, but also in the surrounding areas. We are in a former, very highly industrialized part of Germany. It still is the case. So we have a lot of manufacturing industry, steel, coal was very common here. And you can still see that. So it is a kind of industrial area, but people underestimate how green and it actually is, and how many rivers and lakes we have around here. And also our campus is actually quite green. I mean, I can prove it to you. I just show with my camera that that this is a very green campus. My office is just looking out on the little pond that you could see. And well, anyway, it's quite nice. So just show you a bit of our garden. But we like to be on our campus. That's also why I'm emphasizing it so much. It's really a nice place. People like to hang out here. We're just looking forward to our summer party coming up in 2 days. So our university is special in Germany because we are a private university. That is not very common. And we were the first one as a university, meaning we can also give PhDs and habilitations, and we are kind of strong in research. And as a private university, we have small group teaching. We have very good student-teacher ratios, which is different from the big state universities that we also have in Germany, and also near Witten. There are some really huge universities with over 10 or 20,000 students. We are much smaller, much more private in terms also of being, people know each other. Students can easily talk to their professors and not just to research assistants. And we really are quite close to each other, literally. And we try to be very innovative in our research and teaching, really sometimes really trying to deliberately do things different from what the big universities are doing. We support our students, not just in terms of managing to go through their studies very well, but also in terms of when they have initiatives that they want to start, that we give them some support, and that they can also do the things they really like to do beyond the studies. Here we grow is our motto, and so this emphasizes that yes, we are of course an academic institution. We do research, we prepare you for your future jobs, but we want to support you in growing as a person and getting ready for your professional life, but also beyond. Here are the key facts for the management MSc in strategy and organization. Yeah, so it's a Master of Science. The updated version as management MSc is just in the reaccreditation, quite far advanced. It's a 4-semester full-time program, but also with the new update that we have just done, there's a possibility to do a 6th semester part-time study. We start always in October, So our winter semester starts on the 1st of October. The actual classes start a couple of weeks into October, but we're kind of starting a little bit later than some international universities that are starting in September. Our tuition fee for this program is 32,880 euros. And I'll talk in a moment about how we have ensured that this is actually affordable for anybody who wants to study here, and not just for people with a lot of financial means from their families and savings and so on. The course is taught in English, and it is possible to do the whole degree in English. There are a few electives that are offered in German, which kind of would restrict your choices just a little bit if you're not a German speaker. But really, it is an international program taught in English with just a few electives in German. So what is our goal? It's to qualify you for future management roles, also internationally. For that, you will need very good analytical skills and problem-solving skills, but also things like ethical awareness to really accept responsibility for big strategic projects, for really developing whole organizations, but also for some of the more functional roles in marketing, controlling, or HR. This may be in larger companies or smaller ones. Our graduates go very often to medium-sized companies, but also to the very big ones or startups. So that is not really something that we limit in any way. But our goal is that you really have an overarching, holistic view of managerial responsibility. And that is why we've also included in the new version of the program a leadership and transformation focus. So because we think that those two issues, like leadership and transformation together, are essential skills for managers in the future. I wanted to mention the money side first, because I know everybody out there is interested in that. Inevitably, you want to know what it costs and how to pay for it. So Witten has a very special system, which means that you you have three options. And I mentioned the most interesting one first, which is that you pay after you graduated. So you don't pay anything while you're a student, but you enter into an agreement that once you have graduated and actually are earning a salary, you are agreeing to pay a share of your salary to the university as a contribution for the students who are doing the program after you. So it's also important to mention that this is not a loan. So you are not paying back any money that we loaned to you. You are agreeing to share some of your salary after you graduated. And that is the so-called income share agreement, which is one option that is very popular for students who have like limited financial means while they're studying. Number two is the fixed direct payment. Yes, if you have the money available, you can also pay right away the amount that I mentioned before. And you can actually also combine the two options and make a very special agreement where you pay a little less while you're studying and pay still a smaller share of your salary afterwards. So the motto of this program is make important decisions. Get ready to make important decisions. And starting with this one, it's the decision to join our program, and also the decision how to do this financially. Now the program itself, here's an overview of the modules. So it starts with an advanced theories of management module that everybody needs to do. And then we have a new module on leadership and transformation. So all the students in this program take the module on leadership and transformation, actually together with master students from another program that is called philosophy, politics, and economics. So in this module, you also meet students from another international program that we have. And all students need to do methods classes, of course, for your analytical skills. You need to do advanced qualitative and quantitative methods. Then it gets maybe more interesting, because this is the area where you have a lot of choice. So we have modules that you can choose from, up to 55 credits. So these are 11 modules altogether that you can pick from the area of family business, of strategic management or organizational management. So you can still see the strategy and organization program before. You can go deeper into leadership and transformation, beyond the compulsory module that everybody's doing, or you can get deeper into methods, which is especially interesting if you want to do a PhD afterwards, which quite a few of our students, about 20 to 25%, actually aim to do. So we have designed this program so that it prepares you for a research career, but of course also a practice career. So there is the option between a practice project and a research project with 10 credits. So the students who are looking more towards a research career will probably do the research project, and those who say, yeah, methods are nice, but I'd like to do also other things, they will probably do a practice project. Very special for Witten is the so-called Studium Fundamentale. 12 credits for this. This is it's not extracurricular because it counts towards your study, but these are activities outside of the field of management. And all the students, even our medical students, psychology students, they are all doing these modules. And so this is also where you meet people from all kinds of other programs, future dentists as well. I'll mention a few things about that in a moment. And the master thesis is 23 credits, is very individually supervised here. Students really work on a topic that they have thought of and developed and supervised by professors. And this is a very close supervision and advisory things. I'm going to skip this module curricula, but just to remind you that there's a 4-semester version, which is full-time, and there's also a 6-semester part-time version that is possible in case you want to work on the side. We expect all the students for this program to come and live in Witten. So this is important to mention because the previous program was also on, remote. So this Studium Fundamentale is really interesting. Our students love it. Very often when you ask students like 10, 15 years after they've been here, what is the thing you remember the most about studying in Witten? Then they mention the Studium Fundamentale. Of course, for me as a management professor, that's not what I want to hear. Of course, I want to hear that they love my excellent management classes of the most. But the most memorable thing actually for many is that these other courses that you do, that you on Thursdays usually you take time for one of more than 100 courses, which could be, you know, theater and arts, painting, orchestra or choir, or more like personal development classes for rhetorics and things like that. So this is 12 credits of the 120 credits. 10% of your studies will be in areas outside of management, but that will hopefully build you your character for being a responsible leader in your future careers. Yeah, so that you can learn and experience new things and not just the management stuff. So this is what it looks like when I meet my students in my office. So we discuss their projects. This is one of our graduates. If I had more time, I would tell you about her time as a student, how she managed to do an internship with BMW and also wrote her master's thesis while being an intern there, how she did a semester abroad in Australia, and how she then started a consulting career, but has now become a top management in the family business of her own family. So she's now together with her brother running a very traditional family business here in Witten. This is my last slide, and maybe this is also more for like afterwards. But I would want to mention the admission requirements, which are in the top right here. So you need to have a bachelor degrees in economics or a field that is close to economics. So if you have studied management economics business before, then purely a program that is just called business studies, for example, you're usually eligible for our program. But also if it's a different degree with 160, you can take a test, the GMAT, for example, and prove your aptitude in this area. And so there's another way of getting into the program. But the main one is that you have studied management, business, economics before. And you need to improve your English skills at the B2 level. These are important things to consider before you apply. And when you apply, there's a quick list here on the left. Of course, yes, you have to check the requirements. You have to submit complete documents. But what we really pay attention to, that your motivation letter is tailored to Witten, that you know what we are about and what this place is like, that you have a real academic interest in management, not just as a future profession, but also as a research area, but at the same time, a practical interest in becoming a responsible leader. Very often, foreign applicants don't have very good internet connections when we do our selection interviews, because we interview all candidates personally. And for that, please make sure that you're well connected. And you can apply anytime. We have rolling admissions. We can give you a place or guarantee you a place throughout the year, but you will always be starting in October. Any questions, just write an email to me. I'll be very happy to answer directly, or pass your questions on to the people who are qualified to answer it. For example, about the finance, there are specialists here in our university to advise you on that.
Let's give the mic to Dr. Jessica Naundorf, who will be presenting Master International Taxation and Public Finance program from Magdeburg. And so I will...
You see my screen? Okay. Welcome to my presentation. I'm from OYGU in Magdeburg, and welcome to our Faculty of Economics and Management. And today I would like to introduce you to our Master of Science in International Taxation and Public Finance. It's a very specialized master degree. Well, my name is Jessica Naundorf. I'm the Dean's Assistant of Study Affair at our faculty. I'm also responsible for the quality assurance of our study programs. You can contact us via the Dean's Office of Study Affair, but also the study program director of our master ITPF, Professor 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨. He is head of the chair of business taxation and responsible for this study program. First, I will tell you something about Magdeburg, because I believe it's a small city. It's a state capital of Saxony-Anhalt. It is 1,200 years old and situated on the river, and has a population of around 242,000 persons. Magdeburg is a very green city with many parks to linger in. We are located, well located, and it only takes about 90 minutes to get to Berlin, to Leipzig, or to Hanover. Our cost living are still very reasonable, and we are a very bicycle-friendly city. And our campus is centrally located, and we are a campus university. That means all the buildings are very close to each other and within easy walking distance. Our university offers a wide range of sports and language programs, and there are many student events. Everything is around the corner. And also our students organize a well-being or an excellent onboarding week in order to welcome our new students. The OYGU is a really young university, and we are not one of the big player. We are founded in 1993, and we have around 12,000 students enrolled. But 30% of these are internationals. The campus is home to 9 different faculties, and our faculty, management and economics, is one of them. There are numerous scientific institutions such as the Max Planck University, Max Planck Institute, or the Fraunhofer Institute at our campus. The OYGU is a member of a Neo-Green Alliance, so we are establishing EU-Green Masters with different universities in Europe. And our campus is currently being extensively remodeled. That means in particular to better integrate aspects of sustainability at our campus. The Faculty of Economics is also founded in 1993. There we have around 36 professors which are responsible for the education of our students. Our focus is on economical, political related empirical research. And at our faculty there are around 1,900 students enrolled, and almost half of whom are international students from 70 different countries. In total, we offer 10 study programs, 4 Bachelor of Science and 6 master degrees. And one of them I'm presenting to you today. We have different corporations, especially our faculty. For example, we have an experimental laboratory for economic research. We have a strong cooperation with the Leibniz Institute for Economic Research in Halle. There's a research center for Sparkassen development and also an interactive entrepreneurship center. So we are really empirical oriented. Especially the master program or the Master of Science in International Taxation and Public Finance is a very young study program. It's a very new degree. We are immatriculating students since October 24. The ITPF provides advanced knowledge and methods in tax law and tax practice, economic theory and data analysis, but also topics like tax planning, economic and financial policy, empirical research, AI application, and so on are included. This study program is right for you if you are interested in one of the following topics: taxation of companies and private individuals, the efficiency and fairness of tax systems, the empirical economic research and data analysis, and reducing bureaucracy and tax complexity. If you look at a glance on our program, it is a Master of Science program. It's a full-time program which lasts 4 semesters. And during this program, you have to earn 120 credit points. Actually, we are only immatriculating for the winter term if you are starting in the first semester. But we are also working on an enrollment from the summer term on. The language of instruction is English and German. Because the German tax law, the tax law is in German. So you have to know that you need English and German knowledge skills for this program. The degree program also includes special modules like activity modules and scientific work module and research-oriented master thesis. At OYGU, you don't have to pay tuition fees because we are a state university. These tuition fees are paid by the German government for all of our students. But you have to pay an OYGU semester fee. It's around 300 euro, and it includes the German semester ticket. Here you can see the program structure of our degree program. In the first semester, there are 3 compulsory modules which prepare you for the specialization courses. These 3 compulsory modules are econometrics, international taxation, and public economics. Then you see there's a module scientific work, which deals with scientific work and prepare you better for the seminars here in the second and also in the third semester, as well for the master thesis. In the first 3 semesters, you can choose from a wide range of compulsory elective modules in the specialization area according to your individual interest. In these different courses, you will learn how international companies can optimize their tax burdens. You can learn how countries can survive in international tax competition and shape it through tax harmonization. You will learn how taxes influence corporate investment and economic growth, how tax complexity can be reduced, and how a tax system can be designed efficiently. You see it's really specialized on tax topics. Our students, after successfully completing their studies, our graduates can work in the fields of consulting, for example, corporate management, administration, and science. There's a wide range of different possibilities for our graduates. But the graduates are also excellently prepared for admission to a doctoral program in the field of economics and related areas. For admission, you have to know that this is an admission-free degree program. That means there's no restricted admission. All applicants who meet the 3 hard admission requirements will be admitted. These 3 hard admission requirements are firstly, you need a bachelor degree with an average grade of at least 2.9, calculated by the Bavarian formula. Your bachelor degree must be relevant. For us, relevant means that your bachelor degree that you have acquired in your bachelor degree at least 4 modules in courses in the field of quantitative methods and at least 12 modules in the field of management and economics. Quantitative methods can be statistics, advanced mathematics, econometrics, operations research, and so on. And the 3rd hard admission requirement is proof of language skills. You have to prove English skills at a B2 level and German skills at a B1 level. On the next slide, I will show you an excerpt from various options for providing language skills. For example, you can have an IELTS with at least a 6.5 or also a GRE or a GMAT with a certain amount of points. So if you are interested in our master program, International Taxation and Public Finance, you have to apply via UniAssist. The deadline is the 15th of July. We offer online enrollment, which usually takes place in September. And when you arrived at 𝘱𝘕𝑔𝑢, you will need to submit your application documents in paper form. We start on the 6th of October with an extensive welcome and onboarding week. Therefore, attendance is compulsory, and then the semester starts on 13th of October. We are a face-to-face university, and almost all courses take place in person here in Magdeburg. So we want that you come to Magdeburg and that you live here. Well, I hope I can provide you with a lot of information about our Master of Science in International Taxation and Public Finance in this short time. We would be delighted if you are interested in studying at 𝘱𝘕𝑔𝑢 and look forward to receiving your application.
Thank you very much from our side as well and from attendees to all speakers. I see a quite vivid Q&A with some of the questions already answered. Thank you, Professor Möllering, for this. Let us still address the remaining questions, and maybe the ones that were already answered. This could be interesting for some. Let me start with Professor Michalke. There were 2 questions specifically about your program. the first one, why is the program part of the law faculty? And maybe we could address this one and then I read out the next one.
Yes, of course. Well, it is located at the law faculty, that is correct. But the lecturers which are working on that program come from very many different faculties, from mechanical engineering, from supply engineering, from economics, from logistics. So this is a program that by legal requirements has to be located somewhere, and we could even say by accident it has been located at the law faculty, but it is multidisciplinary in its operations.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. One more question for you. Hello, does the program include quantitative risk modeling or is the focus more on strategic and policy level risk analysis?
The focus is more on qualitative and maybe even philosophical analysis of risk. We don't calculate a lot.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Professor Möllering, I saw you already answered many of the questions, but I would like to still voice some. The first question was about about the accreditation. You mentioned it during or reaccreditation. You mentioned during the presentation. Also answered that this has to do with a name change. So don't worry, dear applicants, if you apply and you are accepted, there will be no troubles for you. Could you please voice the point about the flexibility to switch focus areas? This was one of the interesting topics.
Yeah. So when I presented in the electives these different topics like family business, strategy, organization, these are like more like just topic groups. So they are not like majors or like fixed specializations. We are just grouping the modules so that we can that you can create your own specialization. So in that you are very flexible. You don't have to choose just one of the boxes and then you can't do anything else anymore, but you can pick from the different boxes your own program. But if you have 15 credits from one box, then we can give you a special certificate, an additional certificate, showing that, for instance, you are an expert in family business topics. So that is possible, but otherwise you're very, very flexible. Also between the practice project and the research project, I mean, we expect that students can only do one of the two. Otherwise, it really just doesn't work with the structure. But you don't have to say on your first day, I will be in the research track or I will be in the practice track. You can decide that as you go along and as you choose your modules. So you'll probably find out in the second or third semester which is your specialization.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Another point is about the most important document during the application period. You also mentioned the motivation letter. Do you also pay attention to previous GPA or something else that people should really, really work hard on to get to the interview phase, maybe?
If this is also especially for me, I can tell you why the motivation letter is so important. So we invite actually all applicants have to do an interview, right? So we just look really at minimal criteria, the application criteria. Do you have enough credits in economics? Do you fulfill the technical criteria? And also we don't actually look at the grades at this moment. So we don't screen a lot of applicants before they get to the interview. But in the interview, we really want to get to know you as a person. So we need something to talk about. And that is why the motivation letter is very important. Because in the motivation letter, you tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about why you want to come to Witten. And then the interviewers will pick up on that and ask you to tell a little bit more. So these documents that are very personal and where you express your own motivation, these are the things we talk about in the selection interview. The selection interview also is not an oral exam where we check your your theoretical knowledge of specific areas. That wouldn't be fair because everybody comes from such different universities. So we might ask a question like, what was your favorite module in your bachelor's? So that you should be ready to answer and then also explain. But we won't ask you like, okay, what do you think about Porter's 5 forces? And is that a theory that we can still apply today? And you're like stuck. So no, it's really getting to know you as a person. And you should, so if you can show that in your application materials with the motivation letter, then you're all set. The rest, the technical documents are also important, but we don't screen so much on the basis of those.
Thank you very much. There's also one question just came in specifically for you from Frank. If you want, you could also address it in Q&A. Dr. Naundorf, there are 2 questions for you as well. I have used some basic econometrics during my undergraduate studies. Will this master's help me apply these methods more practically using tools like Stata or R?
Okay, econometrics skills are fundamental. That means you have to know some econometric skills, but we will build up them in our first semester course, econometrics. That means we are starting with a small repetition of the basic skills, and then we will go deeper into this topic. And at our faculty, Stata as well as R is used. It depends on the chair and on the field of econometric or economics research, but both tools are used at our faculty. The students get to know them in the different courses. That means, for example, in scientific work in the first semester, they will use Stata, and in the seminars, it depends on which share they take them. It could be that they're using R. It depends.
The second question is, are internships in tax consulting firms or public finance institutions supported or integrated into the program?
Okay, internship aren't compulsory in all of our master schemes, but we will support them, especially in this program. We have a lot of practitioners which also give lectures, and there's a strong cooperation with different institutes so that we can support finding an special internship.
Thank you. There was a question about the application form. So for Professor 𝘱𝘀ering, it's direct application via the university platform. Dr. Naundorf's program is using UniAssist for international applicants that have degree outside of Germany. And Professor Michalke, I think this question came during your presentation, and it was, should the application be sent as hard copy? Do you need a hard copies, or can it be submitted via email?
I would always recommend to contact us via email first, and when discuss with us what sorts of application forms will be necessary. And German bureaucratics are a little bit complicated, and we would like to help everyone to get there, to get through this. And that is best when we have established contact, then we can help you to make the application perfect.
And one more question was, do you have any German skills? Because Dr. Naundorf mentioned B1 German, Professor 𝘱𝘀ering said no German at the application, but encouraged to learn it when in country. And what about your study case?
In our study, everything is in English.
There are 3 questions from Hanane, who wants to do, I think, business in Berlin. So, dear Hanane, the advice is to check the study finder, filter for Berlin specifically, and find business administration courses there. I see also your question about the foundation year. Foundation year is for bachelors. So now we are discussing master's program. Foundation is for bachelors, and foundation year at the Studienkolleg will be in German. You need to find it, and sometimes it may not necessarily be in Berlin, so you need to check that out according to the federal lands. Professor Möllering, I want to know, can I be admitted in your university without IELTS and get with?
Yeah, I was just actually reading that one, and I was kind of thinking about it. Thanks. Maybe it's well. This is a general question about people who have done their previous degree in English or who are from English-speaking countries. So I don't know this for every single country in the world, but generally you can be exempted from the English language certificate if your prior degree was in English already. But our admissions office will check that very quickly. And also, if you did study in English, the B2 requirement will be very easy for you. Don't worry about that. It's just maybe a little bit of time that you need to invest to actually get it. But yeah, so yeah, this is it. It's unfortunately, I cannot say that if you have studied your bachelor in English, you definitely don't have to do this. We have to check it. But most likely, there's not going to be a problem.
Maybe I will ask this question also.
Can I also clarify something else? One person asked about the GMAT. I mean, this is really we expect that pretty much like 90% of our applicants will not need a GMAT because they come from business, economics, management, accounting, marketing, that kind of studies. If you have done that, then you don't need to do a GMAT. So it's rather like a small little door for those who really want to do management but haven't done it before.
Maybe I could also ask the same question about the English language proof to both Professor Michalke and Dr. Naundorf. If you accept certificate from a university that previous studies were conducting fully in English and then not necessarily from an English-speaking country. Dr. Naundorf, maybe we could start with you.
It depends. We don't accept English talk bachelor program from all over the world, only from a special amount or from a certain amount of countries. They are mentioned in our document, proof of language skills, and other applicants have to make a test.
Professor Michalke, what about your case?
There are various options to prove the language skills, and actually I'm not very familiar with it, but there are various options to check that. And just contact us and we'll clear that up.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so then the last two questions are for Professor Möllering, and I see he's already typing in, which means that I can call it a day.